All right, with all this out of the way, we do have our map order that has been generated with the match starting in 30 seconds. We're starting off on Agility Dash 2, followed on by Hinode, then Motegi will be smack dab in the middle of the map rotation, then Wet Plastic is map 4, and to finish the rotation will be Canyon. So we will be circling back over to AG-2 at the very least a second time, and potentially if the match draws out a little bit, will be a couple of rounds of Hinode. Motegi will not be playing any factor in terms of potentially being a decider.
Yeah, so this map could play an important role, and I mean, Tween looking really good on this one, I would say, but also Pag has had a lot of great runs on this. I mean, the world record on Agility Dash 2 is also something that we can get out of the way here real quick. It is from Melio, who has been eliminated already in this competition, so he's not playing a role, but let's see who gets on top of things. For now, this is a very close map. I've seen players or people in chat saying it's a quite boring map in this way, but I think due to it being so tight and players can just take different lines, it is very good to watch, at least for me. And nothing is decided up until the last grass patch and the plastic ending. And currently it is Pag and Affi who are fighting it out for those first 10 points. Stufts a bit further behind, but still can come back with a good line. Tries to push a lot, goes very close there to the edge. And Affi and Pag right now in first and second still. And Pag goes for a bit more of an aggressive line, so Affi has a bit more speed here by the looks of it, but good lines for both of them here, all things considered. Affi steers a bit to the right earlier and gets it across and is right now leading the round, but just temporarily, just in that checkpoint, even not there. 8,000 it was, and Pag has had a great ending and will win the first round. What time will it be? We're gonna start things off with a 102.985, so good time from Pag. Stufts on third and Tween on fourth, so not the best start from the Slovakian.
Yeah, a little bit of a stall there for the Slovak player from Orange GP Numilops. Blunder in the first sector that I didn't exactly catch on my perspective, but yeah, he did finish a full second down compared to the eventual round winner, as we do circle onto round number 2 now. Let's see if the man from Orange GP Numilops, 4-time World Championship runner-up, is able to mend the damage from round number 1. So far, so good, managing to keep himself within the top 4 places. Right now heading into checkpoint number 3 after that very sharp dive from Stufts into checkpoint number 3 from that left-hander, although we do see him avoiding a clip a tiny bit on the grass banking, but he was sent way out wide as a result of this, so he's all over the shot in the plastic even. Oh my days, that is not a good second sector there for the man from Team Wild, allowing Tween to move up into third position and keeping tabs on both Affi and Pag, but now we do see Stufts coming back with a vengeance for third place. Affi still holding onto a lead very nicely here, about 75 milliseconds at the splits, just ahead of Pag. Tween trying to go aggro just before the grass road section. Stufts also claiming back third place from Tween. Pag versus Affi. Is Affi having a bit more speed at the exit of the grass road, but who scrubs the less speed into the plastic? It's down to the wire, down to the line, and Affi snipes for 11 milliseconds the lead away from Pag and take the 10-pointer for himself.
Wow.
Affi coming right back with the 1-2 punch right there at the ending, making it an even Stevens affair, 16-16 at the top.
And also 7-7 at the bottom for Tween and Stufts. Both of them not with the best start into this match, but of course we play up until 120 points, so even one not so good map can of course be is affecting you, but the match is taking much longer in comparison to that. So let's go into round 3, where Stufts has the best start and also showed a great performance on this map in the match beforehand, so maybe he can just do that again, as Tween makes the first mistake, did not really arrive in this match. But look at Stufts. Stufts leading, Pag is behind him, Affi on third place, and it's all in the ending yet again as Pag goes into the lead here right now. The player from the United Kingdom, former Solary member, playing together with Carl Jr. also in the World Championship, now is in the lead and gets a really good line, does not overdrift and gets some like 4-way drifting action with his tires. He will win the round, and that was a perfectly executed ending, but Stufts comes closer, but it's not enough to snipe away those 10 points from him. Pag winning another round. Stufts, however, brings himself on the board as well with a second position and comes a bit closer to Affi and then Tween. Well, a bit in the mud, 10 points after 3 rounds. That is not too much for the Slovakian.
This is definitely a start of the match to forget right now. Definitely not one of those blinders of 4 opening rounds that he was would have been hoping for right now from GP Numalops right now. Affi, though, does have a really solid start. Will be going toe-to-toe with Stufts through the start right there and into the first sector checkpoint split. And Tween will be the first casualty, barely clipping at the edge of that second checkpoint wall there on the outside. So, yeah, Tween definitely hating this map with a passion. I'm thinking at this point in this particular matchup, it's going to be Affi, Stufts, and Pack. 1, 2, 3 with Pack in the hot pursuit of Stufts, who went a bit too far inside and clipped with a full left side of his car out of the map. And so it will be Pack promoted up to second place, and Affi having a pretty comfortable lead to manage, quote unquote, with a 1/10.5 to 2/10 gap over the Pack in second position at the moment. We do head into sector number 3, though. Can we see a surprise attack from Pack, or maybe a little bit too much speed scrubbed off by Affi to allow the Englishman to move up into the lead? No, it's going to be cool, calm, and collected for the Swiss, who takes yet another 10-pointer with a .977 to boot. That is a very, very strong showing from Affi there, who will be coming back to within just 2 points of Pack in the lead, 32-30. This is a great, great showing from the Swiss driver.
Yeah, but on the flip side of things, Stufts and Tween, not with a great start. They have as many points as the second-seeded player by the name of Affi right now, so they need to make something happen. And Tween, I did not expect him to have such a bad start into this match. Only 13 points, where 12 is the bare minimum, and I hope that he can bounce back on the Hinode, which is map number 2. Could also be seen here, of course, if the match goes into full length. Well, let's go and see how this will develop. Tween has a good start in the warm-up, but of course, it is the warm-up and not the live round. In the live round, it matters at the end. And here we go. So good luck to the players. 4 more rounds on this map, and then we have a clear tendency of who will most likely activate Finest Mode the earliest.
All right, then here we go for the first out of 4 rounds here on Hinode. Following along with the perspective of Affi, current chaser to Pack, just 2 points adrift from the Englishman at the top of the standings for now in this match, but a solid start from the Swiss that was a little bit curtailed. No, not quite curtailed, actually. It was Pack that I was misregarding there, as yeah, he had a little bit of a slow landing, the Englishman, but Affi was having a pretty picture-perfect first sector just before the roof hit, and thus the Swiss will be playing in the lead right now, just ahead of Tween, trying to get himself a little bit more of a shining light on him into this second map, trying to put the shenanigans of Agility Dash 2 behind him, and look at Affi just completely checking out up front. An unfortunate clip on the inside for Tween there, demoting him down to 3rd and potentially under threat for Pack for 3rd position. Pack completely out of it as well, as Stufts has been promoted up to 2nd place. It will be Affi that should be holding the lead, unless there is something catastrophic happening. I thought he might have lost a little bit of speed there with that teetering landing off of the pipe just before the jump into the finish line, but ultimately it was all good for Affi. 0.734. It will be 10 points for him. Stufts in 2nd, Pack in 3rd, and Tween in P4.
13 points between 2nd and 3rd already here. This is how it looks after 5 rounds, so that is quite a lot here between that battle. And I mean, Affi also with a great showing here, 40 points out of 50 possible, so very, very good start from the Swiss player. Former ITB player, of course, and now Pack gets a really good start. Has made a small mistake in that first round and finds himself in the lead. And that was a beautiful landing. He's so far ahead of everybody else here and also gets so much speed into the freewheel sector. But Tween tries to come back, only 0.2 away from Pack in this sector. But also Affi trying to push it here. Pack out of this round. So this is the opportunity for Tween to finally bring himself on the board and claim 10 points to his name. Affi going for the line. Looking good for him, but also Tween has had a very good landing there, and this will all come down to the ending. Affi with more speed, and Affi will win yet another round. Tween on 2nd, however, Stufts on 3rd, and Pack only getting 3 points. Affi slowly but surely gaining serious control over Pack, and is now so far ahead already. It is 11 points between 1st and 2nd, and I mean, Tween and Stufts somewhat in there, but Tween, he needs more like those rounds. He needs more 2nd places, preferably 1st ones even, and maybe this will happen in this round.
Yeah, that is a hint of potential, that 2nd place from Tween, although that one will not be repeated after that very, very heavy landing at the transition onto the platform section, quote unquote, in the middle of the first sector. He will be falling down over a second down compared to the lead battle between Stufts and Affi. And yeah, we told you, have some goddamn faith in Affi, because right now he's doing a pretty much picture-perfect start to his match, managing to get ahead of Pack and assert his control over the top of the standings so far with an 11-point advantage over the Englishman. Of course, we're only barely halfway there in terms of the proceedings of this consolidation final, so we're just gonna have to hold our horses just that little bit longer, as we do see Affi going for the line yet again, perfectly executing it, and that will be yet another 10-pointer going the way of the Swiss driver, clocking in a .719. Stufts does clock in 6 valuable points for second place, Pack drops down to third, and Tween finishes in last place. So yeah, that second place finish already feels like a long time ago, even though it was less than a minute ago that happened.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's a long way ahead of Stufts. He needs more than that to catch up to Pack, who's not driving the best map, I would say, so he will be happy if this one is over. But Affi, 60 points, absolutely smashing this match here right now, is halfway through, and then he needs to clear finalist mode after that. And also now Stufts can maybe bring himself on the board with 10 points. Let's see, what will Pack do? Okay landing, does not get the tilt. It was alright because he just maintained a lot of speed around that corner, which is sometimes a bit more important than the direct approach around that, and your car just flips or just loses time because you do not land very clean. And that's what Pack has been doing. Affi on third. Tween is not playing any role in this match for now, or in this round in particular. No one going for the risky line, and it is Pack who's able to win it here. A .128 check, but we have seen a .2 beforehand, so a .659 from Pack is also good time to end it all off here, and finally brings another 10-pointer to his account. So he extends his lead towards Stufts, who gets another second place.
Yeah, really consistent run of second places right now for Stufts, and Pack managing to swing the gap back down to something maybe a little bit more manageable compared to what has transpired over the course of the first few rounds on Heno, thanks to that top one finish, as we are going to be circling back to Motegi. Watch out for those curves. They are indeed absolutely murderous. If you go over the limits and clip the outside wheels on the very outside edge of those curves, it can very much spell your doom. If you're lucky to get away with it, you might make it work, but more often than not, it tends to end in disastrous consequences.
Yeah, it can be absolutely lethal here, but there's also two lines that you can choose to cut over the grass on this map in the ending, but also in the mid section that players are not facing right now. Pack is one of the players who is going for that, so let's see how this will be looking for them, if they can make it count. Lap 1 on Motegi. Pack has the world record on this map with a .396, and we see the first mistake happening almost on a straight line, and then the second one, and almost the third one here as well from Stufts, who has been losing quite a lot of speed with those mistakes, so he's out on this round. But the battle is now going on between Affi, Tween, and Pack. Affi going very inside there and clips there as well. It's a very hard angle to nail, and now Pack and Tween are leading. Let's see who is making that line here. No one, so Pack decides to go a bit safer, and he is still in close contention alongside Tween. So the ending still there to be played, but I do not really see Tween just risking it because he wants to get those 10 points. He rather plays the safe card and maybe relies on a mistake from Pack, but it's too early to say that. Maybe Tween also wants to pull the trigger and wants to go back into the match, but nope, he's not going for it. Pack, however, is and gets so much speed out of that, but even Tween had it really good and caught him a bit, so you can see the line only works if you get it really well. And well, Pack did not execute it perfectly, but still was able to get those 10 points. Tween with 6 comes a bit closer, but still only 34 points. Affi has double the amount of points that Tween has accumulated so far.
Yeah, Pack's ending was looking to be a little bit on the ragged edge, because he did clip at the final curve on the final corner, and that actually lifted his front tires off the ground, which meant that he lost any steering capability and could have been very well careening off into the tire bundle that's right on the outside of the final corner. So good on him for managing to keep it together and hold on for dear life to get a 10-pointer home. But yeah, it could have been oh so different. Right now, no mistakes to be reported from the top 4, as we do see Stufts making righting the wrongs of round number 1. Now we're going to be going through turn number 9. fine. Nobody going for the Gran Turismo Special, as I've dubbed it, through turn number 9, but right now through turn 11 we go. It's going to be Affi leading, but a bit slower of an exit speed compared to Pack and Stufts, are going to be making quick work of the Swiss to move up into first and second respectively. Tween also coming back into the frame to try and make a few positions up on the board, heading onto the backstretch now through the high-speed chicane, right, left, right, and now onto this particular braking zone for the penultimate set of corners, and now the final corner with descent from Stufts as well as Pack and Affi as well, going so wide, carrying so much speed on the outside, but it's not enough to pip first place off of Pack, who continues to get another 10-pointer on the board. 0.774 versus a 0.786. Tween does move ahead of Stufts for third position, but it's not enough to stem the tide that is currently flowing away from him, and that means, yeah, I feel like his chances of getting into the grand final are growing slimmer and slimmer by the minute.
Yeah, by the minute, round after round, and I mean, Pack with another first place. They're only 1 point short off of Affi, but now dropping as the first player and making a mistake, so he's out on that one. Tween with a wide approach, and you can see I like this approach more because not only do you have more angle to work with, but you also have more speed in a very long sector. So Tween tries to go for that one, and let's see if Pack maybe tries to risk, but I mean, it's not really worth anything because he's 1 second behind as well as Affi. So Stufts and Tween will fight for the win here, as Stufts currently is 0.2 ahead of his opponent, but in the ending we have seen a lot of content happening already, and also Tween getting a lot of speed out of that one and comes a bit closer due to a wider line, but still it's quarter of a second, and he tries to push it and he has more speed, and Tween will finally win a round. Very good ending from Marek Pacha there, and Stufts only gets 6 points in this round. Very important for Tween to finally bring himself on the boards.
A beautiful run through the last few corners there from Marek, with a superb management of the car, managing to keep it reeled in and then using all the road and then some, going a little bit on the outside curb to really get himself a little bit of extra speed on the outside, and that allows him to get a very valuable 10-pointer. Let's hope that he's able to keep him coming, as that enables him to be catching back up to Stutz within 3 points of third place, but he still has a long way to go to catch up to Pack, who's still some 28 points up the road for Marek at the moment, going through turns 5 and 6. From the perspective of Affi, he's going to be going toe-to-toe with the Slovak player from Orch DP Numelovs. Behind him is going to be Stufts in third place, going through turn number 7 just fine. Game very conservative, not really extending the track all the way up to the curve, deciding to get a little bit himself more of a safer approach through that complex to 7, 8, 9, and 10. Turn 11, it's going to be Tween, leaving a little bit of time on the table, allowing Affi and Stufts to move up into first and second place. Now turn 12, the hairpin going the wrong way around this time around, and look at the nice late apex from Tween, allowing himself to get a little bit more exit speed just before the jump onto the backstretch. Right, left, right through the chicane. It's going to be Affi still in first, and now Stutz under third from Tween. Can Tween trying to pull another godlike set in the last few sequence of corners? We do see a bit of a corner cut from Affi, and Stutz is going to be good enough to keep themselves in their place. It's going to be a 0.751 for Affi as well, a full 10th clear of Stutz. Tween in third and Pack in P4, so ultimately it wasn't meant to be a repeat of that 10-pointer for Tween, but he gave it a red hot go, and Affi does get a 10-pointer right into the nick of time to try and build the gap back up to Pack, as we're going to be switching over to our next map, which is going to be, Wet Plastic.
Yeah, Wet Plastic, and also Pack losing a bit of ground in the last 2 rounds, where he has gotten only 3 points, so 6 points in total, which is not too much. So Stufts and Tween were able to catch up, but it's still 22 points of a gap between second and third, and then Affi with a great lead of 88 points, who could activate finalist mode here after a after 4 great rounds. He could activate it and then close it out on the last round, or on the first round on Canyon. So let's see if this will be the case or not. And well, I mean, Tween and Stufts, they have to do something. They have to get those first and second places to shrink that gap of 22 points, because only the first and second position is going into the next round. So here we go. First round, it is round number 13 of this Consolidation Final.
Yeah, and Tween does need to push like it's seeding now. It won't do to just settle for like a 0.5 or 0.6. He needs to be clocking in at the very least low 0.5s or high 0.4s, or even if he can repeat the 0.397 that is still the current record to this day that he did during the qualifying sessions, that would be the key for him to actually be able to have a standing chance of actually going into the grand final. And also, Pack is also a very worthy contender, because just a less or little over half an hour ago, he improved his public PB to a 0.4 1:06, just a mere 9 milliseconds off of Tween's time. So he's going to have stiff competition, but this time in this first round, it's not exactly looking on the up and up for the man from Slovakia, as it is going to be a fight transpiring between Pak and Affi. And Affi with a bit of a heavy-set landing in the plastic does allow Pak to move away a little bit at the front, a tenth and a half ahead of the Swiss man, formerly of ITB and of course of Team BDS that he's been repping for so many years. Affi a little bit slow, but will allow himself to stay ahead of Tween. Oh, that was such a heavy contact with the bottom of the ring checkpoint, or the ring trigger, the ring gate, I guess I could say, for Pak, but he still crosses the line in first place. Affi and Tween second and third. Stufts in P4 will lose out in the battle versus Tween in the grand scheme of things, but both are still having a long, tough road ahead, and you can see the gap, the chasm is growing further and further. 29 points now for Pak to manage, and we're already at the 3/4 of the way there for Affi, and then some.
Yeah, that is a lot of points to be cleared, and just when you say that, as this was scripted, Stufts and Tween both with mistakes in the first 15 seconds of the map, so this will be a very hard task to come back from it. I mean, Pak already failed the ending in one of the matches. I think he was even on last year, so it didn't matter, but still Pak goes for a very tight line in the end and just tries to travel as little distance as possible. And currently Affi and Pak, I think they're happy. It's like a gentleman agreement, you know, I'm not pushing too much, you're not pushing too much, let's just take those 10 and 6 points home.
Whoa.
You know, I have a little bit of a blunder here, but I do not get plastic bounced, but they just want to get it through and get it done, and the gap is just increasing and increasing here with those kind of positions coming into play. And Affi with a first position, 103.855, not the fastest time, still of course very fast, still only 0.45 away from the world record, but no one is there to answer the call. And look at that, the gap is increasing. It is 32 points. This is almost impossible. I think the only gap that I can really think of is Coco clearing this one during the CDF 2019 event, where he got second position ahead of back then Binks and Aurel. No, wait,
yeah,
Link it was. Aurel won it.
Yeah.
No, Gwen, never mind. Aurel got knocked out.
Yeah,
in
no,
the
Aurel didn't make
position.
it to the grand final. That wasn't 2019. That was spring 2020, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it is a very interesting parallel to point that the kind of gaps that have actually been built up there between P2 and P3, which is still very much worthy of actually pushing for, because even P4 in the grand final is still worthy 500 points in the grand scheme of things in the World Tour ranking, as well as 100 euros in the terms of cash prize repartition. And Tween will be down in the doldrums with that hit at the apex of the first of two left-handers downhill at the start of Sector 3. Affi not really looking too hot either on this round so far. It's going to be the perfect opportunity for Stufts to try and get some solid points on the board, but he has to fight off against Pak. Right now, he is holding the door steadfast, but he's holding that door shut, Pak, and he will not allow anything to slip by, and that will allow him to spring back up into the fight for the lead of that match versus Affi. 108 to 105, the gap bridged back down to just 3 points on their own, with a 0.532 as well to boot for Pak. Absolutely staggering performance there on that round.
Yeah, very nice. And Pak jumping so low again. Tween with a gear on that plastic sector, so that is very unfortunate for him, I think. So he is down and will not collect any more points. 63 points, that's not how he expected this match to happen. It looked so much better in this winner bracket final for him, and now he's getting absolutely dominated by his opponents, by Pak, who comes from the lower bracket, and then of course also Affi, who dropped alongside with Tween in that match as well. But now Tween on a run, and maybe wants to start the match a bit later than he anticipated it to start. But Affi and Pak certainly not slowing down. Stufts with the first mistake. Good line from Pak. And also Affi doing it really good, but Tween still in the lead. No one getting the gear this time around. And this will be all coming down to the ending. Pak with a great line. They're going so close to the wall, or to the block there. And he has more speed than Tween by the looks of it. Or does he? No, he doesn't. And Tween finally wins another round. I think that's the second round win for him. Pak and Affi still up to a lot of points, over 110 points there, so they only have to win one more round to activate finals mode. Tween moving up to third position, but look at this, it is still 38 points between second and third. This is so much.
This is still quite the uphill battle for both Stufts and for Tween as well, as we're heading onto our final map of the rotation, which is going to be Canyon. Or what? Wait, did we start on that? No, we started on the AG-2.
Yeah, we did
it
start
doesn't
on
need
the
the final.
GG-.
Yeah, see, I'm starting to get a little bit of brain fog as well. Yeah. But yeah, 112 to 111. Now, both of these players are not out of the woods just yet. Affi and Pack both need to get one individual win no matter what. And of course, given the nature of racing, only one of these two can potentially get one, or potentially none of the above. So it's gonna be not double finalists just yet. It's gonna be potentially one finalist at the end of this round, and if not, it's going to be a bit more of an agonizing way for these, and it's going to be the perfect opportunity for Tween and Stufts to come back with a vengeance, and I do hope that they're able to spring something, a bit of a surprise. Tween was looking a little bit shaky on some of these rounds, but could be pretty solid now that the circumstances have somewhat changed, but also Pack was looking so solid in his previous match, so it's going to be a very tough old fight between all these four.
I think this is one of the strongest maps from Pack. He drove an absolute great display of skill. I think it was in the loser bracket semifinal even, where he drove 0.1s back to back. But of course, we have a person who is no strangers to good times as well on this map, the world record holder himself, who is currently leading the round by 0.15 of a second. Stufts wants to come back, but still, this is such a massive task to do against players like Affi and Pack, but Stufts is, I think he's even on a banger time. This could be a 0.0 or a 0.1. Maybe Stufts has nothing to do. Tween crashes into the wall, but let's see what time Stufts will be on. What will he clock into the finish? It's a 0.05. We almost have a new world record. What is going on? 200s away from it. Insane time from Stufts. Not feeling the pressure by the looks of it, but I mean, he comes back a little bit, but this will be an absolute incredible task for him to do. But still an absolute great time.
That time is worthy of acknowledgement. Everybody in the server acknowledged it, and with good reason, because that was just 200s away from his very own world record. That time would have put it, in the top 5 overall. That was a brand new time in the TMIO leaderboards. But still, what on earth was that round from Stufts, showing that he can be called the Flying Dutchman here. I think he's a worthy contender for that particular title, because he's been absolutely flying over the course of the last few weeks. And of course, here on this track, that is Canyon. Right now, it's going to be Affi trying to have a little bit of a word in edgewise, trying to get himself firmer standing here in final status. Pack does need to get second place at the very least, but right now he's sitting down in last place, trying to catch back up. But look at the gap between himself and the top 2 fight between Affi and Stufts is half a second at best, which is going to be quite the tall order to catch up, and he was going to be running out of road at any time anyway for that jump to be done. Affi versus Stufts. Stufts could try to go for a snipe at the ending there. Great entry to the dirt, but it's a little bit too sluggish on the exit. A 0.240 for Affi guarantees a 10-pointer for him, denies precious points for Stufts, and the Swiss man goes into finalist status. Tween finishes in 3rd, Pack finishes in 4th, 4 tenths down, and Pack is on 118. He only needs to finish the round in order to get into finalist status, but ideally he would love to deny Affi to make it a little bit more interesting for the very first 2 spots in the grand final.
Yeah, it would definitely relieve some pressure to be the first one going through, but I think at this point both Affi and Pack know that they have plenty of attempts to work with, but maybe the first map does not suit you that well. Maybe you want to end it already here, but both players looked absolutely fantastic on all of those maps, so it will be like, I think it's on Stufts and Tween at this point to close it out, but Stufts shows violence and is already 0.15 ahead of Tween. Affi and Pack both with individual mistakes, so we will see a double final situation coming into the next round, but I want to focus on what time Stufts is on. I don't think that this will be a new world record, but it could also be very deceiving, because he was leading by 0.17 out of Tween. Let's take a look how this will work. I hope he's not pushing too much, because Affi is on 2nd place, and if Stufts having to respawn, he will be going to concede at least 1 position already, and this is a 0.237. This is also enough to win rounds, so another good time. Stufts at least getting 10 points, Pack also activating finals mode, and well, I mean, Stufts with that coming definitely closer, 98 points, but still at least having to play 3 more rounds onto this last round here and onto map number 1 again. So good luck to him, of course, to Pack, who is finalist, and also to Stufts and Tween. Stufts trying to catch up, but is it enough or is it too late?
Yeah, Stufts is gonna continue to play out of his mind right now if he wants to make a triple finalist alive for 2 spots in the grand final alongside Otak and Paco. But right now, two players have that fabled red trigram, that being, of course, Affi, which tends to kind of blend in with the G2 esports fan skin that he's currently adorning, and Pack, which has a little bit more contrast with that darker red that we've seen. Affi, the first man to crack under pressure, and thus will be dropping out of contention after touching the inside of the corner. Same for Pack, both finalists, and quickly followed by Tween as well. What on earth is that round? That is a lot of damage, as Phil Swift would say, and that means Stufts is in to potentially continue doing the unthinkable, make it into a triple finalist in the very long run, of course, and get another 10-pointer here on Canyon. Just a couple of corners left to go. That last dirt part, just a little bit of teetering through the chicane there, and it's a .402 for Stufts in first place. Tween finishes in third. Both Pack and Affi get denied, and more crucially, Pack's second place does deny big points for Tween, and so the progression continues to be stalling quite significantly there for the Slovak player from ORGGP Numalops, as we're going to be circling back over to Agility Dash number 2 for its second rotation. And with the current standings, finalist status for Affi and Pack, 108 for Stufts, who can still make the triple dream alive, and 88 points for Tween, who still has 32 points before reaching the fabled red text. Ouch.
Yeah, that was an ouch moment indeed. I expected much more from Tween in this match, but maybe the energy is also low and you lose focus, so this can happen. So it is Agility Dash 2, and this was the map that Granadi was in need of last match. Let's be honest. I mean, if Hinode would have just given him 36 points, he would have come a bit closer, but it wasn't meant to be. So Stufts somewhat in the fight again. 108 points for him, but still 2 more rounds to be played at least, so he should win the round to be a guaranteed finalist in round number 3. And also it's good for him that Pack and Affi are still playing for it, because only no winner has been decided just yet here after 20 rounds of playing. So very good for Stufts, but he needs a very good round against Affi, Pack and Tween here. Let's take a look. Will this work out for him, as Stufts gets a very good start alongside with Tween? Everybody's kind of in there, and now different lines come into play. Affi, Pack and also Stufts going for a drift. I think Tween went for a more inside approach, and Stufts clips, so he will not be going through, but Tween is his best friend. Now can Tween win his third round in this match? Looking really good. He could deny both Affi and Pack the entry into the grand final, for now at least, and could be Stufts, or Stufts, the best friend from him is right now Tween, but Affi is pushing it, and Affi gets a really good line across as well, going a bit wider, will have more speed. Pack also trying to do it. Tween still leading, and Tween could take it home. This is the start that Tween wanted in this match, and he gets it now, but this is one rotation too late, to say the least. Tween with 10 points, and I think he only had 13 points or something like that after the first rotation, so maybe a bit too late for Tween.
Might be a bit late, but never say never. Anything can happen in Trackmania, and usually does. So Tween is still, maybe, just maybe, that little bit still in competition. And yeah, unfortunately for Affi, who was in close contention with Tween and Pack in the previous round, he had a very heavy slowdown midway through the identity part, just before the finish line. So he dropped down to third in the very last minute. But it's all down to Tween now, and Stufts does need to get his act together if he wants to make that triple challenge alive. He does need to win the round this time around. He's sitting 9 points behind the finalist threshold of 120 points, and we do see Tween going a little bit wide just before the entry to checkpoint number 4-5 section there. Currently Tween still managing to recoup the lead just before the midway part of the track through the dirt, dropping down to third gear and then keep it all the way through third gear. Do not upshift at all, then try to get the upshift now just before you head over to the jump. 250, 260, that's a clean landing. It's going to be Tween and Stufts first and second right now. Both finalists are sitting down in the doldrums, down along with themselves, tending this together in third and fourth, and currently we do see Pack on the attack versus Stufts. Same for Affi, but Tween is completely checking out up front. He should be able to hold this up until the very end, and that's a second consecutive win for Tween with a .888 as well. What a funny time if that was if Pipeline was there as a server controller. But yeah, Pack gets denied. Same for Affi. Stufts smack dab in the middle in third, which is bad news bears for him. He's only on 115. He does need to get a second place still in order to make it to finalists. Tween up onto 108.
This feels like an absolute different match compared to maps 1 to 4. 5 and 6 have been treating Stufts so well, And also now Tween is in the mix, up to 108 points. And I mean, maybe my prediction is right, 108 points, but Pag and Affi have been finalists for so long already, and they're just not able to close it out. Stufts and Tween holding on for their dear lives, and let's see if it works out now for them, as Stufts is leading again, but one red name is in there as well. Right now it is Thomas Cole. Pag, who is trying to make his way into the grand final. Tween, if he wins one more round, he's also up to 118 points, and then has one more shot, or guaranteed has a shot of making one more finalist attempt if he finishes the next round. Pag, not with a good line. Stufts just has to finish, but should preferably deny Tween, but it doesn't matter at this point, only if, of course, Tween doesn't win the next round, but it looks like that this will be the case. Tween wins the round, and also Stufts only with 3 points, so both are now at 118. Tween is getting first, but most importantly, Stufts not with second place that he looks to have so long.
That's even worse. Yeah, not even second place, not even third. It's down to fourth. So he's level on points with Tween. Both are going to be heading into finalist status no matter what. Whenever they finish this round here, the last round on Agility Dash 2, and we'll be circling back over to Hinode for our final few rounds here in this Consolidation Final. My goodness, everything is just kicking off right now, and look at this. Marek motherfucking Paka is back in the building. He's continuing to take back-to-back lead positions. Now he has to be content with yet another final opponent here with Pak, 2016 World Champion. He's confronted him in many competitions, TMGL World Championship, of course, and now it's currently advantage to the Slovak from ORGGP Numilobs, currently still sitting 42 milliseconds ahead of Pak right now in second position. I'm starting to get brain fog. I'm really sorry about this, but Sector 3 it is. Currently Twin still leading very comfortably. Does get a little bit of a bump on the outside, and it's going to be allowing Pak to sneak in potentially into the lead of the race and try to deny Tween. That all-important denial of Pak's final spot. It's down to the wire, to the line. Pax has done him for 8 milliseconds. He makes it through into the grand final. Thomas Cole is through to the top 4, locked in for 8 milliseconds. Tween does not guarantee a quadruple, but still 3 finalists for one last spot in the grand final.
Dude, who would have thought that Tween and Stufts are getting finalists in this match? Like, for real. Affi looked so harmless on the last couple of maps, and now Stufts and Tween, who were more than 30 points behind, joining him into finalist mode. This is absolutely incredible, and we have one more round on map number 2. Tween, Affi, and Stufts fighting it out, and this is it. Maybe the line advantage comes into play from Affi. Maybe, but of course this line is not that easy to clear. And let's see how this goes. 10 seconds of warm-up. And here we go. Oh my god, I think we should share this round to brain fog not to be happening, Geek.
Yeah, I think this is going to be absolutely nuts. Here we go then. One last round for all the marbles, for one last stop and one last spot in the top 4 here of the GameWard Cup, starting already right now. The last 53 seconds there or thereabouts of this consolidation final are underway, and already Affi slowing down a little bit too much, landing a bit too sideways midway through the first sector, and that's going to be promoting Tween and Stufts up into the lead just before the roof hit and a sector 1, and you can see Affi catching back up nicely after a good slide cancel into the grass, and Stufts is out of the running with a very huge clip.
Yeah, Tween is now in the lead. Huge opportunity, and this is already match of the year candidate if Tween is able to close it up. Even if not, this was an absolute mind-boggling match. Tween has the line disadvantage towards Affi, who goes for the risky jump here and tries to clip his front tires in there, and he has more speed. And what an unlucky way of getting eliminated here. So much catching up, even though Affi almost missed the ending. And Affi is finally through, but this was way too close for comfort. Tween and Stufts with an insane comeback, but they weren't able to get it through. I mean, 4 finalists was almost correct, Geek, but like, if you were to tell me after map number 4 that we have 3 finalists for the last spot, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah, and